Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. Because I'm doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 6th June 2025. Today we're doing a small recap of Fullmetal Alchemist. We're going to be starting our recap. We have 2 episodes to recap. I don't know many times I say recap because recap becomes too often. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So today we're talking about Fullmetal Alchemist. I was looking for a new things to watch. Started watching Doctor Stone, which was really good, and then we started watching Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist right away. A show that I love, a show that is really well made. A lot of people call it the best anime ever. So I don't know if I agree with that, but still we'll see. So Fullmetal Brotherhood, I have to start right away because today is very hot. We had problem with the phone overheating, so let's not do it again, and let's start not right away, but you know what I mean. I'm excited because I love this show. Fullmetal Alchemist, my story with it is super simple. I've read it once, I've watched it once, that's it. I didn't rewatch it, I didn't reread it. However, I started watching the Fullmetal Alchemist, which is the quote-unquote original one. Didn't like it. Brotherhood is the way to go. Brotherhood is super akin to the manga. So we got episode number 1. By the way, let's do a recap, do a review. What we'll do is we'll look at the computer screen here. I wish I hadn't taken notes, but now. So without further ado, let's go. The first thing you see is the rebel. You learn of Mustang coming in as this operating officer. The rebel, no, I'm so sorry. We meet the rebel through a meeting between King Bradley, which is kind of the leader, and Mustang, Colonel or General Mustang, I don't know. Who was in charge of Edward and Alphonse, Edward, the Elric brother, right? I watched this 2 days ago. This is why I'm a bit rusty. So right away we got the 2 brothers. They're introduced as these genius. It's super cool because kind of got spoilers in the intro, but it's super nice. We got the rebel who is super strong. We see the classical sphere of Edward. It's super funny because everybody that's in the show, they meet. Okay, so technically speaking, Edward is called the Fullmetal Alchemist. There's a really good reason for that. But then they meet Alphonse, which is a suit of armor, which is made from metal, and they think, oh fuck, he's a Fullmetal Alchemist. Like, no, I am. Which is endearing, it's sweet, I like it. So then we get the rebel. The rebel is able to control water, so vapor, ice, super smart. In a cool way, those rebels, each being master at a alchemist, it's kind of like their specialty, but you kind of see how far it could go. So I really enjoyed that. We got introduction of Hughes. Hughes is a fan favorite. He's a really well-written character. He seemed like a dumbass, but he's actually really smart. He seemed like a character that not really important, but he takes a lot of important decision. He is, in my opinion, as close. See, the phone is too hot. I cannot film. As close as Mustang as possible. Mustang is one of my favorite characters. I prefer Mustang to Hughes though. So they fight him, and the first fight. See, this is weird because in the pilots, this is a pilot, right? So this doesn't act as an intro, but more so as what the show could be. So they're joking about how they're fighting. Hughes talk about how family is important. They eat this quiche, which is an omelet, right? And it's so fucking nice. Why? Because they go in a way of I miss mom cooking, which is the reason why they're here. It's a big spoiler. I'm not going to talk about it, but still. So yeah. So we got the rebels talking to I don't remember who he's talking to. Kimberly, right? So Kimberly is also a really important character. Kimberly, it's a huge spoiler if I tell you. I'm going to tell you right away because it's actually super important. Kimberly was... If he puts music, I cannot film. It's a good song though. Fuck, we don't have a lot to do, so let's just finish it. The weather. I've been outside for 2 hours, guys, and I'm sweating my balls off. So Kimberly is behind the massacre of Ishval. Ishval is a super important part of the. I can't film. He puts music. Shit. Much more comfortable. Okay, let's go. So yeah, so you behind the Ishval massacre, which is a super, super, super important moment. However, there's a lot more than meets the eye, so we won't talk about it. So basically, the rebel talks to Kimberly, and he's like, "Yo, why did you do that?" I don't remember the name of this guy, the rebel, this guy, which is why I'm not talking about it, right? We got Yug making some. He's working hard. Super nice because we talk. The other brother talk about the quiche and how much they miss their mom's cooking, which is also super super important. We have the second fight. We got the rebel being back. We meet with Colonel Armstrong. His whole family is badasses, but his whole family is super important. So, and it's kind of funny because he has his expertise into flame, and the other one has his expertise to water. So right away we have sort of a battle. Edward is pretty freaking good because he has a mastery over everything. So we do have the fight versus the rebel and Edward. Edward and the rebel they're talking, and then it's revealed that they talk about the night of the sacrifice, which we're gonna see, but I can't spoil it because it's one episode away. Um, so long story short, well, that's basically the whole of episode 2. So no, never mind. But it's a really important event, which is kind of crazy because it made them stronger. But it's a huge, huge, huge problem. So they're talking about how he just fight the rebel says thing like King Bradley don't know what he's doing. I'm trying to save the world. I'm the good guy here. I'm actually the good guy. And it's a little bit of a spoiler, the rebel isn't as bad as you think. Yeah, we learn it later on, but he's not as bad as you think. And the fact that he's the first enemy we fight is kind of cool. So now we got the battle between Mustang. It's so fucking funny because with him being the master of water, we think we defeated it, but his body is made of water because of blood, and he can control blood, which is kind of crazy cool. He goes in and he's fighting King Bradley himself. And that is pretty much it. So you got what I love about the first episode is how funny it is, how good it is. It's really good. It's really well put together. There's a couple of really funny moments. We're watching Doctor Stone, so I would kind of go with Doctor Stone. It's a bit more funny, but this is still really funny. It's just way of a good show. Also, there's a couple of instances where I really, really, really enjoy my time. So, for example, the fact that we fight a guy, we kind of win when he gets away. As this time all along, the other plan that we have a party, we have food that reminds us of why we're human. This is good pilot episode. It's about what the show could be. So then we have the ending. We have the Philosopher's Stone. So that the brothers are for the Philosopher's Stone. So basically, this is explained into episode number 2. Episode number 2 is actually the intro, the correct intro. So the intro is the rules of alchemy, how it works, what is the give, what is the take. They go on a train, which would be funnier if it was Natsu. If you get it, you get it. They're looking for the Philosopher's Stone because basically the Philosopher's Stone would equate a soul, and that's what they need right now, a soul. So super super simple. We have their past, we have what happened. So basically it's kind of complex but kind of simple at the same time. Episode number 2 does a really 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 good job at explaining things in a good fashion and at a good pace. So basically what happened is the brothers, they have this father who's a genius, who's an alchemy genius, right? This father disappeared, right? So the mom taking care of them. The place where they live is is hit by a plague, and the plague takes away their mom, right? And now the two brothers, they have nobody. They're orphans, so they eat what they need to eat. There's the first thing that talks about how Edward drinks milk and he hates milk, which is a joke because everybody tells him, "Oh, if you drank your milk, you would have been taller." So it's a running joke, but it's actually a really funny joke when you learn why. So they're reading from alchemy. They go to school, but they care about alchemy. They become obsessed with alchemy. So what happening is He drinks he drinks milk and he hates it, but he has curry and he loves it. And curry contains coconut milk, which is milk. It's like if somebody can do something like that, I can do whatever I want. So they're doing a circle to bring back their mom. But right away something goes wrong. They end up in this place. This is the super important place. There's this character. Give me a quick second. So this place is super super important. This is kind of limbo. So they end up in this, and it's like, yo, we'll give you eternal knowledge. You gotta sacrifice things for it, right? So this is a super 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 important character. One of the most important character, if not the most important character. So it's like, I'll give you knowledge on alchemy, but you'll have to sacrifice things for it. So for example, he sacrifices his arm, gets knowledge. He sacrifices his leg, he gets knowledge. Now, sadly, Alphonse, as the price, loses whole body. He loses whole body. So then, with the knowledge that he has, he's able to encrypt the summoning sigil on in the armor, which makes each imbue the soul of Alphonse in the armor. But they pay a big price. So they sacrifice their life to save another. Now, they actually managed to do something. They managed to do a homunculus, which is also super important. Homunculus is possibly one of the most important lore of one of the alchemists. They're to prove that you can do something incredible, but they're also villains, and to prove that you shouldn't do something terrible. So we have Mustang, and Mustang, he hears about what happened, and he heard about what happened with the two kids that were very talented with alchemy. He saw them in. You see the body. He gives shit to Edward. Alphonse protect him. Alphonse like, we didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. So they're like, yo, what did you do? Right? You got Wenry. Wenry is also super important. We got the introduction of Wenry. Wenry is their childhood friend, but she's also the love interest of Edward, which is a spoiler. But it's more than that. So Wenry becomes, it's like their go to. Their When they talk about the people that they want to protect, she's one of the people that want to protect. So Fullmetal Alchemist is complicated in the fact that there's a lot of people that they have in the story, but they're all like military people. The universe of Mortal Alchemist is very very military. King Bradley, which is the leader, politically speaking, the lord of the place, is called Mein Führer, which, if you know what it means, it's very 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 militarian. Wenry is the case of non-militarian. So Wenry is a simple girl. She doesn't have any prowess. And what is really cool is Edward, and this is really important. This is really important when you read between the line. As a plot, as a normal plot, it's super cool because you got Renry, who's a normal person talking to Archies. Archies, easily one of my favorite character. When people think about waifu, Archies is waifu for me. Archies, who's also a simple character. She doesn't have alchemy skills. She doesn't know shit. She has a gun and she serves under Mustang. So Renry is like that too. But then when you look at it, Mustang was an alchemist, talks to the brother. Archies talks to Renry. In the future, Mustang's the brother become alchemist, and when we become a automail specialist, which is super important. So you guys remember how the brothers lost, well, Edward lost a leg and a arms. When she makes them an automail armor, which is kind of like a automatic mill. So somewhat of a robotic arm without being super robotic. It's super cool because you got them training. She's training against Elric is training against Alphonse. When he's like, you treat my two men like shit, you treat it like shit, you treat it like shit. Now you got Mustang. Mustang being there is one of the most important scene. So you have a very young Edward who is completely destroyed by the fact that he just created a monster. He just lost his brother's body, and he just lost an arm and a leg. Everybody sees Edward as kind of like, oh my god, poor kid. Mustang is the first one to say, what do you mean poor kid? This kid is full of, you see a fire in him. He's full of ambition. So he comes in and they fight. So what happened is, and this is really fucking cool. At first, when Renry, which is character that is kind of neutral, but more so in the state of things. So for example, she's neutral in the fact that they become alchemists or not. But she's not neutral because she's afraid for him. So she's like, leave him alone. Alchemy took away enough from him. And Mustang is like, yo, I want you to be an alchemist. If you help us, we'll give you access to information that nobody else have. So alchemy information. And Edward think, well, maybe if I can get a book or information, I could fix the issue. So he goes in, and King Bradley is the one to test him. So the cool thing with King with this is because one of the youngest, and everybody doesn't believe in him. So Edward right away he does something incredible. He goes in and creates a transmutation. He creates alchemy without a circle, which is something that you shouldn't be able to do. But again, because Edward has an arm and a leg, he gave it. He has the power to do it. He creates a sphere, which is weapon of choice. The weapon of choice of the sphere is actually super cool because Edward is so small. A sphere could be compensating for the height difference. So then you have King Bradley, which is him, and King Bradley comes in, and this is one is important. You see, these are all military, right? They have pistol. They don't have alchemy. They don't have alchemy at all. So this is really, really important. So when they fight, King Bradley has his sword out, right? Which basically means that he's super strong. So then it's funny because the last scene is basically them being accepted as alchemists. And that's pretty much it. State alchemists at the Tower of Full Metal. It's the second game into okay, so they all have the second name. So for example, Mustang Armstrong. I love this. He becomes the Full Metal Alchemist. I fucking love this. I fucking love this. What a good show. It's so good. So freaking good. Oh yeah. I'm excited to read. I'm excited to react to this. I'm gonna stop here. Uh, this is pretty much done. Let's see what's up. We only did 2 episodes because I only watched 2 episodes. The plan would be to watch 2 episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist per day, and 2 episodes of Doctor Stone per day. Sounds good. Sounds great.